Now, in this video, we are going to continue with our quadratic equation. So now in video 1, we solved question based on plus, plus, plus. As in everything we did in video 1, plus, 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 plus. Now in this second video, so I'm going to do different signs, as in all the signs that we can have in quadratic equation. So I'm starting with the first sign, so which is plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus. At the end of this video, you should be able to understand how to solve with different signs, and when you have understand very well, you can continue with your own way. So now let's start with the first one. So let's say we have s square a, so s square plus 5s minus 6 is equals to 0. But yeah, you have to remember your minus times minus is equals to plus, plus times minus is equals to minus, plus times plus is equals to plus, plus, so minus times plus equals to minus. So you should remember this. So if you look at it very well, you will see that plus times plus is plus, minus times minus is plus. That means the same sign. Minus minus will give you plus, plus plus will give you plus, so that if you want to understand it, you can easily remember that way. So but different sign. Plus times minus will give you minus, minus times plus will give you minus. Now the same sign will give you plus. So now let's proceed. So s squared plus 5s minus 6. So based on what we have solved so far, we need to find products and we need the sum. If you have understand this concept very well, you can skip the product and the sum. Now how are we going to find the products and the sum? The product is multiply the first term by the last term, but remember this last term has minus now. So that means we say 1s squared times minus 6. Please carry the sign along. So that is why we have minus. Watch out for the sign. So now 1s squared times minus 6, that is minus 6s squared. Now the middle number is the sum. So what is the sum now? The sum is plus 5s. So what are the numbers you can multiply that will give you minus 6? If you add, you will now get plus 5. So using the first video, so I'll just continue because we've explained most of these concepts in the first video. So products of 6, what are the numbers that you can multiply that will give you 6? So I've told you, you can use the LCM. 2, 3, 3, 1. That means 2 times 3 will give you 6. 6 times 1 will also give you 6. Now what are the two factors? We have 2 times 3 will give you 6. Again 6 times 1 will give you 6. But if you look at this, we said the product is 1s squared times minus 6. That is minus 6s squared. While the middle one is the sum. But now our product is minus, but the factors we got are plus. How can we achieve minus in our products? Yeah, that means one of these numbers should carry minus. Now but the sum is what? Plus. Now anytime the sum is plus and the product is minus, now you need to put minus in the smallest number. Here 2 times 3, the smallest number is 2, put minus in 2. Here 6 times 1, the smallest number is 1, put minus in 1. So that's what we will do. So please take note of the sign. That's why I'm doing it like separately, sign by sign. That's why I'm not doing all the sign at the same time. So I'm doing the sign separately. So now I'm starting with, if the first sign is plus and the second one is minus, you will identify that yourself later. So now I said product is minus, the sum is 5. Anytime the sum is plus and product is minus, that means the smallest number should carry minus out of those your product. Now you first find your product without the minus. What numbers will give you 6? 2 times 3, 6 times 1. Now put minus in the smallest number. Now minus 2 times 3, that is minus 6. Why? Because minus times plus is minus. So now 6 times minus 1 is also minus 6. That means I have achieved minus 6. Yeah. Now which of these two numbers will give me plus 5? So that means I'll have minus 2 plus 3 is equals to what? Then 6 minus 1 equals to what? As in according to all this. So 6 minus 1 minus 2 plus 3. So note that if I have ordinary number like this, it's plus. I don't need to be writing plus. So if I write this now, it means plus 4. So that means this one now, minus 2 times 3 is like saying minus 2 plus, as in the 3 is plus. So that's it. Now minus 2 plus 3 means you own somebody 2 and you have 3. So if you pay, you are going to have 1. So this is plus 1. So minus 2 plus 3 is equals to plus 1. So you can press your calculator the same way. Minus 2 plus 3, that's plus 1. Again, 6 minus 1, that is plus 5. Now out of the two, which one satisfy our equation, which is plus 5? So the one I will use is 6 and minus 1. So that means my two factors will be 6 and minus 1. So those are the two numbers I will use now to get my products and also my sum. Now I'll use the two numbers are plus 6 minus 1. Those are the two numbers. So that means you will replace the two numbers with the middle one. So just like what we have done before. So s squared plus 6s minus 1s. I'll write x because I said just put s to the number. So that will be 6s minus 1s. That will replace the middle one. Then the last number minus 6 equals to 0, as in this minus 6. Because it's only this 5 we replace with that two numbers, 6x minus x. Now we bracket 2. So s squared plus 6s in bracket, then minus, which is minus. Now open a bracket, then s plus 6. Please take note of this side though. So now anytime I have minus here and I open a bracket, that minus will multiply the sign here. Minus times minus is plus, as we have here. Minus times minus is plus. So again, anytime you have a bracket after the sign and it is minus you have here, you have to multiply this one, minus times minus, so to change to plus. Please take notes of that. So now what is common in this bracket, what is common in this bracket? So that means I will have x is common here, and I told you anytime a number or alphabet is common, divide through by that number. So that means, or letter, so that means x squared over x plus 6x over x. What's common here? 1. So that will be x plus 6, because it's like over 1 equals 0. So this we now have x, so 1s will go, that will be x plus, this one too will go, s plus 6 minus 1, then s plus 6 is equals to 0. Now what do you notice now? You can see that s plus 6 is common as usual. So now take 1 out of the 2, s plus 6. Now the outside one is s minus 1, so is equals to 0. So now for this to be equal 0, that means the first one, either s plus 6 should be equals to 0, or x minus 1 should be equals to 0. So from here, so that means we can say s is equals to minus 6 or s is equals to 1, and that is the answer, based on what we have done before. Now remember, I said instead of passing through all this stage, you may not, if it is objective exam, you may not pass through this stage if it is objective. So we have, starting from our data given, we have s squared plus 5s minus 6 equals 0. Now what are the two numbers we use? Is here we use plus 6 and minus 1, as in those are the two numbers we got here. Plus 6, and I told you that the sign will change, so x will be equals to minus 6, as in the sign plus will change to minus, or s is equals to plus 1, as in this sign will change to minus, will change to plus, as in here. So that is the answer. So if you compare with this, remember 1 is still plus 1. Now I told you I may not write plus, so it's the same. So that means if you compare now, you say it's the same. That means without solving all this process, you can easily use your factor. This your factor is always your final answer. So this your roots is always the final answer. So now these two numbers 6 and this is the answer. But if you look at the question, the coefficient here is 1 s squared. So that means it's like saying divided by 1 divided by 1. So nothing will change. That's why I won't use it there. But like this one, that is coefficient of 3, so I have to divide by 3 if it is this one. So now that means the answer is this. So that is short method to do that. Now let's see the second question. The B parts. Now B. For B we have s squared plus 5s. We have s squared plus 6s minus 7 equals 0. Now the first thing is that I'll find my product and I'll find my sum. Now what is the product? You multiply the first term by the last term. Take note of the minus. That will be s squared, 1s squared times minus 7. So that will be 1s squared minus 7. That is minus 7s squared. Why the middle number is the sum? So that is plus 6s. Now what are the numbers you can multiply that will give you 7? And if you add it, you get 6. So numbers that can give us 7, if you try find the LCM, nothing can go here apart from 7. So 7 times 1 is 7. So that means the LCM is still 7 times 1. So that means the only number that can give us 7 is 7 times 1, 7. No other number. Now I told you if the sum is plus and the product is minus, where are you going to put the minus there to achieve minus there? So we are going to put minus in the smallest number. Don't forget, please take note, we put minus in the smallest number so that we can have 7 times minus 1, that will give us minus 7, and again 7 minus 1 will give us 6. So that means the number will be 7 times minus 1. So use the two numbers now. So we are going to have plus 7 minus 1. So instead of writing this middle number now, you replace it with plus 7 minus 1. So that is like minus 1s. When I say add s to it, so this will becomes s squared plus 7s minus x minus 7 equals 0. And I told you anytime you have minus, if you put brackets, you have to, it must affect. So s squared plus 7s, put it in bracket, minus, then open a bracket, then s plus 7, because that minus times this minus will change to plus, so you have to have plus in the brackets. If there is no bracket, leave it as minus, but immediately you put bracket, you have to multiply, so that minus times plus will go back to minus, so it's equals to 0. So now what's common in this bracket? X is common, so divide by what is common. So plus 7x over s minus 1 s over 1 plus 7 over 1 equals 0. Because we find what is common here, we say nothing, but it's 1. Now this will be x into brackets, so 1 s will go, so it remains s plus 7 minus 1, again s plus 7 equals 0. Now do you notice now that they are the same? And we said if they are the same, you are going to take 1, so that means this will be s plus 7 and the outside one, that will be s minus 1 equals 0. Now for the equation to be true, then either s plus 7 must be 0 or s minus 1 must be 0. So now if any of this will be 0, then s will be equals to minus 7 or s is 1. Remember, if this one cross, it becomes minus. If this one cross, it becomes plus. Now that is the answer. So let's use our shorts method. If you have s squared plus 7s plus 6s, s squared plus 6s minus 7 equals 0. So what are the two factors we got? We got plus 7 or minus 1. So that means if you reverse the sign, so the sign for 7 is plus, you change it to minus, that will be minus 7 or s equals to plus 1. As in minus, we change it to plus. Because the coefficient here is 1, so it's like dividing the 2 by 1, but it will not have any effects. So that will be the answer. So if you compare with this, so s is minus 7 or 1. So that is the short method, like that. So compare, so the answer are the same. So now let's see the third one. Same. Now the C part, we have 3s squared plus 5s minus 2 equals 0. Now we need to find the product and the sum. Now what's the product here? Product is multiply the first by the last. That will be 3s squared times minus 2. Take note of the sign. 3s squared times minus 2, that is minus 6s squared. Now the middle one is the sum, that is plus 5s. Now what two numbers we can multiply to give us minus 6? If you add, you get plus 5. Now as we have seen before, we have 6 times minus 1 will give us minus 6, and minus 2 times 3 will give us minus 6. But if we add the 2, like 6 minus 1 will give us 5, minus 2 plus 3 will give us 1. So the one that will give us the value is 6 and minus 1. So we are using 6 and minus 1 to replace the middle number. So we now have 3s squared plus 5s minus 2 equals 0. So that will be 3s squared plus, now instead of writing the middle number, write the two numbers. That will be plus 6s minus 1s, then the last number minus 2 equals 0. Then bracket it to 3s squared plus 6s. So what is common? Minus. So I said immediately you write minus and open bracket, so you change the second sign to plus. Minus times minus is plus, equals 0. so that if you expand, so minus, if you expand it will go back to the question. So minus times plus will give us minus back. Now what is common to both? We have 3s is common here, because 3 and 6, 3 is common, then s square and s is common. So now I said if anything is common, divide everything by what is common. So plus 6s over 3s minus what is common here, 1. That will be s over 1 plus 2 over 1 equals 0. Now 3 will go, s will go. So we have 3s brackets remain s plus 2, because s will cancel as 3 here 1, 3 here 2. Then minus 1 s plus 2 equals 0. Now you notice s plus 2 look alike, so take 1. Now take the outside one, 3s minus 1. So that will be 3s minus 1 is equals to 0. Now for this equation to be true, then s plus 2 must be equal 0, or s minus 1 equals 0. So here s is equals to minus 2, or 3s is equals to 1, because if this one should cross it becomes 1. Now s is equals to minus 2, or s equals to 1 over 3. That is, divide both sides by 3. So that is the answer. Now if it is the short method you want to use, now what are the two factors we use? We use plus 6 and minus 1. So I say reverse the sign, so plus 6 will becomes minus 6, or minus 1 becomes plus 1. Change the sign. Now because this one, the coefficient of s is 3, so I'm dividing the 2 by 3. So anytime you have coefficient, so this one will go, that is minus 2 or 1 over 3. So which will give us this answer straight. So that means without solving you can actually get the answer if it is objective exam. Now let's see different sign again. Now let me change the question to another sign. So let me solve like two questions on those ones. So this one is plus minus. Please study the sign, it's important. Now solve the following equation again. So let's say a, we have s squared minus 3x minus 3s plus 2 equals 0. B, 2s squared minus 5s plus 2 equals 0. So let's see this two. Solution. Now I've changed the sign. Look at the sign now. I now have minus first, then plus. Minus first, then plus. So now if you have minus first and followed by plus, let's see what we will do. So now the next case we are going to have, remember we are doing factorization method. Now the next one is s squared minus 3s plus 2 equals 0. So as usual, find the product, also find the sum. Now the product is plus 2 s squared. How do I get that? So that will be first time 1 s squared times the last time. So 1x squared times, remember the sign here is now plus. So 1x squared times plus 2, that will give me plus 2x squared. Then the middle one, now take note of the sign minus. The middle one is the sum, that is minus 3s. So study the pattern. So now what are the numbers you can multiply that will give you 2? You can see it's only 2 times 1 that will give you 2. Now but if the sum is now minus and the product is plus, and you need to achieve minus in the sum, that means you have to put minus in the two numbers. Again, take note, if you have get the numbers and your sum is minus and the product is plus, you have to put minus in the two numbers. Why? Because minus times minus is equals to plus, so it will change to plus and we can achieve minus for the sum. So it's the same thing as what we are doing. So let's take it again. So in this case our sum is minus 3s. What are the two numbers that will multiply that will give us 2? You can see that the only number is 2 times 1 that will give us 2. But now the sum is minus 3. How can we achieve minus 3 from here? Anytime the sum is minus and the product is plus, just put minus in the two numbers. But remember the first one, when we have plus here and we have minus here, I said put minus in the smallest number. So remember, now minus times minus will give you plus. So that means we can say minus 2 times minus 1 is 2, and minus 2 minus 1 is minus 3. So you own somebody 2, you own another person 1, or just press calculator direct. Minus 2 minus 1, that's minus 3. So you see now that we have achieved our the two numbers are minus 2 and minus 1. So the two numbers minus 2 and minus 1. So we'll just put s at the back. So we can now replace this middle one by that two numbers, minus 2x minus 1s. So that means my question is now s squared minus 2s minus 1x, I don't need to put that, then plus 2 equals 0. So please study the signs. That's why I'm doing the signs separate. So now the first one here, bracket it, we need to brackets into s squared minus 2s, then minus, I said anytime you have minus and you open a bracket, it must multiply this. Minus times plus is minus, so I'll have s minus 2. So that minus times minus will give us this back, plus. So anytime you have minus and you open bracket, please remember this sign will change. So now you will have what is common here, x, then divide, that will be s squared over s. Now I said anything that is common, divide by that thing, then minus 1 s over 1 minus 2 over 1 equals to 0. So this will becomes x, this will cancel out, that will be x minus, again this will cancel out, s minus 2 minus 1 into brackets x minus 2 equals 0. Now you will notice this and this look alike, so take one out of the two. That will be s minus 2, then x minus 1 is equals to 0, as in s minus 2 is this one, then the outside one x minus 1 is this one, so equals 0. For this equation to be true, that means s minus 2 must be 0 or s minus 1 must be 0. So s should be equals to 2 or s should be equals to 1. Answer. Now if you compare this, if you compare it now with the question using the short approach, that means you will have s squared minus 3s plus 2 is equals to 0. Now if you have this, I said the two numbers we use, we've seen it here, that is minus 2 and minus 1. So we use minus 2 and minus 1. Now that means your x, this minus 2 will change to plus, so to change to plus 2, or s is this minus 1 will change to plus, that will be 1. So answer is 2 or 1, which is the same thing as this. So the short method. And remember, the coefficient is 1, so that's why it's like saying divided by 1, but it will not change anything. Now let's see the next question. It's now we have b, that is 2s squared minus 5s plus 2 equals 0. Now the first thing is products and sum. So what are the products now? You multiply the first by the last. That will be 2s squared times 2, that is 4s squared. 2s squared times 2, 4s squared. The middle one is your sum, minus 5s is the sum. Take note. Now what are the two numbers you will multiply that will give you 4? Now the two numbers, 2 times 2, 4 times 1, those are the numbers you can use to get 4. Use the LCM, 2 times 2, 4 times 1, so like that. Now, and I told you that the two numbers you get, anytime you get the two numbers, so far your sum is minus and product is plus, so you have to put minus in the two numbers. Minus, minus. Take note of the pattern. So minus times minus is plus, this is plus 4. Minus times minus is plus, this is plus 4. Anytime the sum is minus and this one is plus, we put minus in both numbers. Remember, take note of the signs. So now you now have the sum, that will be minus 2 minus 2, that is minus 4. Minus 4 minus 1, that's minus 5. As in, if you add the two numbers together, which one give us minus 5 here? Is this one. That means we can ignore the rest. So the number we are going to use is minus 4 minus 1. That means our two numbers will be minus 4 and minus 1. So just put x at the back so that it will now replace the middle one. So we have 2s squared minus 4s, as in the two numbers, then minus x plus 2 is equals to 0. So now bracket it to 2s squared minus 4x, then minus, I said anytime you have minus you must open a bracket. So immediately you open a bracket, you have x minus 2. Why? Because minus times minus will go back to plus, so minus times minus will be plus. So open bracket every time you have minus outside. So if you have minus outside and you open a bracket, then the sign must change. Please take note. Minus times minus is plus, so to go back to that plus. But without brackets, then leave it this way. But with brackets, change the sign. Now what is common? 2s is common here, because in 2 and 4, 2 is common. S square and s is common. And anything that is common, divide through by that 2. So that will be divided by 2s minus 4. S divided by 2s, then minus 1, then s over 1 minus 2 over 1 equals 0. So that means we have 2s, so 2 will cancel out, then s here 1, so it remains x, 2 here 1, 2 here 2, s here, s here, so s minus 2 minus 1 into bracket s minus 2 equals to 0. Now this and this look alike, so that means we take 1 So I'll take s minus 2 and the outside one 2x minus 1 2x minus 1 equals 0. So now for this equation to be true, then this must be equal 0 or this must be equals 0. So that means x minus 2 will be 0 or 2s minus 1 equals 0. So s is 2, that is the minus will cross, or 2s is 1. So s is 2 or s is 1 over 2, divide both sides. So that is the answer. Now if you use the short method, now we have the two factors. What are the two factors? The two factors are minus 4 minus 1, as in minus 4 minus 1. Those are the two numbers we use. Now change the sign. Minus we change to plus, that will be plus 4. S is plus 4, or this one too will change, so to change to plus 1. Now look at this, there is coefficient of 2 here. Since there is coefficient of 2, divide the two numbers by 2. So that means this will becomes s is equals to 2, or s is equals to 1 over 2, which is the same as this. So that is the short method. Now it remains the last sign. So take note of all the signs. So after the last sign, we can solve any question. Then you must have known how to utilize the sign, how to manage the sign. So now solve A. Now question can be like s squared minus 5s minus 6 is equals to 0. B. 5s squared minus 7s minus 7s, let's say minus I will not get negative number. I say minus 2 minus 3 minus 3 minus 4, so say 12 minus 12 is equals to 0. So let's say this. Now if you have these two now, but if you look at the question, you see the first sign is minus, second sign is minus, minus, minus. Please take note of the sign. There's reason why I split all the signs separately. Now any question you see cannot pass any of these signs. So now if you watch the video over and over, you will understand how to now manage the signs, and when you solve, then you know how to find your way for any question. Now let's talk about minus minus. So A, s squared minus 5s minus 6 is equals to 0. Now as usual, find product, also find sum. So it's the same pattern for all, but here the product is 1s squared times minus 6, so that will be minus, product is minus 6s squared, while sum is also minus 5s. Take notes. Now I have minus, take note of the sign always. Now you will now have, what are the two numbers we multiply to get 6? We have done that. We got 6 times 1, we give us 6. Again 3 times 2 will give us 6. But anytime the sum is minus and the product is also minus, put minus in the bigger number, like this. 6 and 1, 6 is bigger, put minus there. 3 and 2, 3 is bigger, put minus there. So put minus in the bigger number if they have minus minus. Take note. So that minus 6 times 1 will be minus 6, minus 3 times 2 will be minus 6. But if we add minus 6 plus 1, it give us minus 5. That's why we are putting minus here. Again, minus 3 plus 2 will give us minus 1. But now, which one are we going to use? Our sum is minus 5, so we are going to use this one, minus 6 plus 1. So that means our two numbers are minus 6 plus 1. So the two numbers minus 6 plus 1. So you can just put x. So that number will replace the middle one here. So now this will becomes s squared minus 6s plus 1s minus 6 is equals to 0. Now bracket it to 2. That will be s squared minus 6s plus s minus 6 equals 0. So if it is plus I have outside, I don't need to change the sign to remain the same. So it's except if minus is there, then minus times minus will be plus. Now what's common here? X. Then this will be s squared over x minus 6s over x. So plus 1. S over 1 minus 6 over 1 equals 0. So x can cancel out x. That will be x minus 6, then plus 1, x minus 6 is equal to 0. Now, and if you watch all the questions I've been solving since, it's the same throughout. The only difference is the sign, and we are taking care of the sign now. So please master the different signs we have here. So another one now is what's common? X. That will be this and this look alike. Take one. That will be x minus 6. Then the outside one, x plus 1. That will be x plus 1. So this will be equals to 0. Now, for this equation to be true, then x minus 6 will be equals to 0, or s minus 1 will be equals to 0. So s is 6 or s is 1. So that's the answer. Now if you compare using Short's method, the two factors are minus 6 and plus 1. Interchange the sign. S will be plus 6 or S is minus 1. So that will be the answer. What are the two numbers? Oh, so I made a mistake. I see now I can figure out the mistake using that method. There's a mistake here because this one is s plus 1. So I wrote s minus 1. That will be s plus 1. S plus 1. So final answer is minus. Because it reflects here. If you interchange the sign here, you get plus 6. Interchange the sign here, you get minus 1. So answer is plus 6 minus 1. And because the coefficient is 1, it's like we divide by 1. It will not have any effect. Now let's do the last one. So that means for now, let's do the last one first. So the last one we have, so this will take care of all the signs. So we have b 5s squared minus 7s minus 12 equals 0. Still find your product. So what's the product? Minus 60 s squared. What's the sum? Minus 7s. So now what are the product of 60? So you can use the LCM, because if you are not sure, 2 in 60, that will be 13. 2 in 30, that will be 15. 3 in 15, that will be 5. 5 in 5, that will be 1. That means it's like your LCM. So that means if I say 2 times 13 will give me 60. 2 times 30 will be 60. Again, 2 times 15 will be 60. 2 times 15 will be 60. 2 times 15 is 30. I mean 2 times 2, 4. So 4 times 15 will be 60. So let me change this to 4. So that's how you can manipulate all the multiplication together. Again, 60 times 1 will still give us 60. And again, 2 times 30, we have that already. 4 times 15, 60 times 1. Now, it's all these ones that will give us 50. Also, 12. Now, this is 2 times 2, 4. 4 times 3, 12. Then, 12 times 5 will also give us 60. Like that. So that means those are numbers that we can manipulate here to get 60. So you can always use that to know your numbers, all the numbers that can give you a certain number. So if you have known that, then which one of these will give us minus 7? And remember, I told you that anytime you have minus here and minus here, you put minus in the bigger number. So that means this one I'll put minus here, minus here, minus here, minus here in the bigger number. So if I add everything now, I'll have 2 minus 13. That is minus 28. 4 minus 15. That is minus 11. Minus 60 plus 1. That's minus 59. Minus 12 plus 5. That is minus 7. So now the only one that will satisfy is this last one, because my sum is minus 7. So that means I'm using that last one. So instead of writing the middle number, so I'll have 5s squared minus 12s plus 5s minus 12 is equal to 0. Now bracket it to 2. That will be 5s squared minus 12s, so plus again 5s minus 12 is equal to 0. Now what is common in this bracket? In 5 and 12, what's common? 5 is common. Sorry. In 5 and 12, what's common? See that nothing is common, but we say 1. In x square and s, what's common? So I can easily say s is common. Yeah, so it will remain 5s minus 12, then plus, so 5 and 12, nothing is common, can say 1 is common, then I have 5s minus 12 is equal to 0. Now 5s minus 12, 5s minus 12, take 1 out of the 2, so we have 5s minus 12, and take the outside one, s plus 1, so that will be s plus 1 equals 0. So now for this equation to be true, this one must be 0 or this one must be 0. That means 5s minus 12 equals 0 or s plus 1 equals 0. So 5s will be equals to 12 or s plus 1 is equals to 12. So s is equals to 12 over 5 or s is equals to minus 1. So that will be the answer. Now if we use the short method here, we'll see that the two factors we use are minus 12 and plus 5, as in those are the two factors we use. Now I said you will change the sign. This minus will change to plus, so s will be equals to 12, s will be 12 or s is equals to 5. The sign here is plus, it will now change to minus, or s is equals to minus 5. That is, change this minus to plus, change the plus to minus, so the sign will reverse. We have done this. Now the coefficient in our question is 5. That means I'm dividing the two results by 5. This is over 5 over 5. So s is 12 over 5 or s is minus 1, because 5 will cancel out. so that will give us the same results as this. Now, so far we have solved all the signs you can see in quadratic equation. Now we have solved a question that involve plus plus, like solve the following. 1. We have solved question like x squared plus 10x plus 9 equals 0. We solve question that the signs are plus plus, so try that one. 2. X squared minus 10x plus 9. Let me reverse it. Let me say minus 9x minus 10 equals to 0. So we've solved the one with minus minus also. Let's say number 3, x squared plus 9x minus 10 equals 0. So try this one too. We've solved the one with plus and we solved the one with minus. Again, number 4, let's say x squared minus 7x plus 8. If I say 8 times 1 will be 8. Cannot work. 6 is equals to 0. Now we have done, see the sign, this one is plus plus, we've solved it in first video. Minus minus in this video, plus minus in this video, minus plus in this video. So you can watch everything, then you should be able to answer all this question now. So we'll move to in another video, so I'll do completing the square method in my next video.